She cheated, so I broke every bone in his body. He stole my wife, thought I'd roll over, thought my loyalty made me weak. But he didn't know I'd spent 25 years building more than just a garage. I built a legacy, a family, and a fire that no snake in a suit could ever extinguish. When he stepped into my shop to take everything, I gave him something else. A lesson in pain. A crash course in what real alpha looks like. This story gets insane, and you won't believe what I did next. Like this video. Subscribe now, and tell us in the comments where you're watching from. My name's Dave. I'm 45 now. I run a garage, the one I built from the ground up. Every bolt, every beam, it holds a story of my life. What makes it special is that it didn't come from a company or a handout. It came from me. My past started when I was just 18. I spent 7 years sweating under the roof of my uncle's garage. Saved every penny I could. Eventually, I had enough to open my own shop. Those first years, brutal, but I gave it everything. My heart, my energy, all of me, and in the 30 years that followed, that little shop grew bigger than I could have ever imagined. Did love ever find me? Yes, it did. Her name was Lily. We crossed paths in an auto expo while she was still in university. Right away, something just clicked. We exchanged numbers, stayed in contact, even though we were miles apart. A few months later, she came over for the first time. It felt different, like something real had just started. But soon after, her world came crashing down. She lost both her parents, and she nearly had to abandon school. I couldn't watch her fall apart, so I stepped in, used all my savings to make sure she could graduate. She broke down in tears, holding me tight, overwhelmed with gratitude. 5 years passed. Lily moved in. Life felt whole. She got a job at a nearby law firm. We raised 2 amazing kids, Maria, now 18, about to graduate college, and Jack, 17, who's rocking out in a local band. Watching them chase their passions, it filled me with pride. But something about Lily began to shift. After 2 decades together, I knew her inside and out. Every habit, every glance, even a little fib she thought she could hide. She had just taken on a new role under a high-powered attorney. That's when the distance began. Late nights got longer, her presence fainter. I stayed silent for 3 months, observing. Then one night, I couldn't hold it in. "Why are you always getting home so late?" I asked. I'd always been composed, but something snapped. She'd never seen that side of me before. After 20 minutes of confronting her, she finally cracked. Tears welled up, and she admitted it. She was sleeping with her boss. My mind spun. I asked just one thing. "Why?" Her eyes met mine. "You haven't changed," she said. "You're still that man I married 2 decades ago. Same garage, same clothes. You're loyal, yes, but not enough. I want a man who mirrors my ambition. Someone who leads, someone alpha." Her words hit like a freight train, but I wasn't about to let her rewrite the story of who I was. So I said, "You're leaving me after 25 years because I don't look the part at your cocktail parties? Because I'm not loud, controlling, or violent enough for your new image? Was I not a good husband? Didn't I support you through college, raise our kids, give them a future, and that still falls short for you?" She stayed firm. "You need to understand. I'm moving forward with someone else. And if you don't cooperate, I'll take everything. Your house, your garage, your legacy." I leaned back, calm. "You really believe you can take it all with legal games?" She smiled coldly. "I know I can. Good luck." Next morning, she called him. "John, there's a problem. Dave knows." He answered smoothly. "That's fine. We planned for this." She sighed, conflicted. I confessed. "We've been together 2 decades. We have kids. He's been nothing but loyal. And now it feels hollow knowing how much he gave up for me." John's voice was steady. "Don't worry. Just give me the garage address. I'll bring the paperwork." That afternoon he arrived. "Mr. Brown, may I come in?" "I know who you are," I said. He continued. "Lily told you I'm her boss, and I have an army of lawyers. Fight this, and we'll drown you in legal threats. Divorce filings, restraining orders, full asset seizure." I laughed. You think you can scare me? He smirked. I've done it before. I stood tall, face to face with him. Let me tell you something, John. This garage, I built it with my bare hands. My whole life has been about giving my family everything. You might try to rip it away, but you'll never own the one thing I'll never hand over, my soul. For 45 years, I've stood strong, and that's not changing now. John hesitated for a second, then composed himself again. We'll see. As I watched him leave, I knew this wasn't over, but I was ready. This war was just getting started. He told me earlier, you should have been more dominant with her, not soft and charming. You needed to take charge to be the kind of man who sets the rules. That's how I won her from you. I stepped forward, and then I struck. My fist collided with his jaw hard. The crunch of bone and teeth was unmistakable. He collapsed to the floor, dazed and stunned, his back against the garage wall. Disbelief smeared across what was left of his pride. Lesson 1, I said. Before the pain could even register, I yanked John upright, only to immediately knock him flat again with a sharp uppercut to his midsection. This time, he toppled sideways, wheezing and choking for air. That was lesson 2. While he fought to breathe, I slammed my boot down on his extended hand, fracturing his wrist and several fingers in the process. There's your 3rd and 4th lessons. John's groans cut off the moment I stomped on his chest, the crack of breaking ribs echoing in the room. His face twisted in unbearable pain. Yes, Mr. Alpha, I said, voice icy. It'd help if you stayed quiet. I'm trying to teach you something. Back in high school, I swore I'd never use my size or strength to harm anyone. But you, John, made me break that vow. Coughing up blood, he tried to keep eye contact, but failed. I placed my boot firmly on his throat to make sure he focused. Before you barge in here to throw your triumph in my face, I continued. I'd actually planned to let you walk away untouched, but now you change the outcome. You want a lesson in being alpha? Well, take notes. I pushed down harder on his neck. Alpha males, the real ones, they're not always the biggest or the brightest. In a wolf pack, the alpha is whoever's willing to go the farthest, kill if necessary. No hesitation. I removed my foot, watching him writhe helplessly on the floor. You're not even in the same league, I said. You're just another desk jockey pretending to be something you don't understand. He squirmed on the ground, and I went on. You've got choices, John. Sure, go to the cops. Maybe they arrest me. Maybe not. Could be I make bail. Or maybe they don't even pin this on me. Worst case scenario, I'd do 5 years. 5 years learning new ways to inflict pain, new ways to erase someone without a trace. And when I get out, we'll have this conversation again. I rose to my feet, adjusted my shirt. Or you could treat this whole thing as a warning. A brutal example of what happens when you decide to sleep with another man's wife. John didn't speak. He just lay there gasping, blood pooling around him. Now get the hell out of my workshop, I said coldly. That night, Lily called John. John, I'm still waiting at the office. I thought you'd be back by now. What's going on? His voice came through faint and broken. I've been moved to a different ward. I'm at the hospital. Lily went silent in shock. What happened? Was it a crash? John hesitated. No, I underestimated your husband. I thought I could handle him. That was a mistake. He broke my nose, crushed my hand, some ribs, maybe even my cheekbone. That's not possible, Lily said in disbelief. Dave's never been the violent type. John let out a painful cough. You're welcome to see the x-rays if you don't believe me. I need to go. The meds are kicking in. The following night, Lily was stranded on a remote road. Her credit cards had been declined, her wallet emptied, and her car out of gas. Frantic, she scrolled through her contacts. No one answered, not even her kids. As the first light of dawn touched the sky, a van stopped beside her. She froze as I stepped out. Get in, I said firmly, not waiting for response. She climbed in, shaking. We drove in silence until I finally spoke. Here's how this goes. You're filing for divorce. No alimony, no splitting assets. Everything I earned remains mine. Lily nodded, lips trembling. You'll keep what's yours, I said. I don't care what you put on the papers, but once this is done, you're leaving town. My kids can visit you if they choose, but never in my presence. She stared at me, pale. And if your things aren't out of the house by 11 a.m. tomorrow, I added, they'll be burned. 5 days later, the signed documents were on my desk. A few months after that, I was officially divorced. Do I have regrets? Maybe. Maybe I regret that my marriage crumbled. Maybe I regret that Lily never grasped the meaning of loyalty. But what I'll never regret is teaching John exactly what being an alpha truly looks like.